All right, we're live for episode 2.
All right, welcome to Leftovers at Midnight.
How was your guys' week since the last episode? What are your thoughts on it? What do you send it to anybody? What were their thoughts on it? Let's explain.
As specifically vague as possible, brain has been on overload. And that's
Can't
all I'm going to
imagine
say
why.
about it.
Can't imagine why.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah,
It's
I
been.
think I can imagine everybody is.
Imagine.
Yep. Yeah, it's just been a lot. Quiet Kyle, how you doing, buddy? How was your week?
So I'm just gonna be known as Quiet Kyle for now. All right, fantastic. I mean, the week's it's just been an average week. I mean, got some new labels in for my candles. Aside from that, not a whole lot. It's been a pretty nice week. Went fishing, had a good time, hung out with some friends. It's been pretty chill though. I like it. Alex?
Awesome.
Okay.
I'm drowning in paperwork.
Oof.
That's my life right now.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's...
You know, it could be worse.
Yeah, it could be.
You could be using a refurbished Amazon Kindle.
You could be using a refurbished
What?
Amazon Kindle.
What?
Hey, don't make fun of my refurbished
Have you
Amazon
ever-
Kindle.
I'm just gonna ask this. Have you ever picked up a refurbished Amazon Kindle at all?
I have not.
Like,
I've only picked up a new
which
Amazon
one?
Kindle.
It's like trying to run the first iPhone ever made.
I have
on
one
the
of those.
latest iOS.
I have one of those. It doesn't run. Doesn't work.
Yeah,
Doesn't work.
Please
Doesn't run
sponsor
at
us,
all.
Amazon.
Yeah, right.
exactly my point.
Bezos, give me
Exactly my
money.
point. Yep. So yeah,
so-
what's on everybody's minds? What are we?
Well, I'll talk
we thinking
about
about?
my week.
Okay.
Since the last episode, I've barely been able to walk. I have back pain that's just been acting up horribly, so I'm going to a chiropractor for the first time tomorrow, and I am so excited.
sciatica.
My sciatica
Back pain.
nerve. I feel old. I'm only 23, but I feel like I'm 123. You know, it's horrible. So I'm going to a chiropractor for the first time tomorrow. My dad's in the hospital because he fucking fractured some ribs, and he's stubborn like I am, and the bitch waited. Like, he fucking waited after he fell to go to the hospital, which is just gonna make it worse.
Yeah.
Well,
But other than that, I'm in a lot of fucking pain. I'm sitting on a heating pad right now. I can pull up part of it. Like, I have this little thing. You see, it's flashing because it's been going on for too long. You better play a bigger violin than that, Eric.
Smallest violin for you, buddy.
Better play a bigger violin. You're older than me, and I'm in
sorry,
more
is that
pain.
more appropriate.
That's more appropriate. Yes.
Okay. Cool. Nifty.
That accurately.
I just won't
describes
talk about
something.
myself anymore. I quit.
No. It's not that we don't care.
Oh
it's
no!
Just,
Just tell me how you really feel.
no. It's just the word
are.
sciatica coming out of a 23-year-old mouth.
Sciatica nerve issues.
Oh, my sciatica.
I mean, it's like me talking about my psoriasis. Like it just doesn't make sense.
I only heard
And it's
about
one
that
of
on
those
TV.
like,
It's a myth,
huh.
right?
yeah, it's a myth.
Also, just as a disclaimer, sciatica, very real disability. We are not disparaging anybody with any disabilities. I
Oh no!
promise
Fuck
you.
that shit, dude. I hate it. God, I'm
Except
living with it right now. I can
except
barely
Robbie.
move. I
Except
can
Robbie.
barely move.
He's the only one we're disparaging. But
Fuck!
it's because it's Robbie.
Hashtag break Robbie's back 2020.
Please.
No.
Do something good for me this year. It's from doing carpet for 6-7 years or however long I did it. Just constantly on my hands and knees, pun intended.
Is that what the kids
And
call it nowadays?
Now it is,
Carpet.
yeah.
Hey,
Eating
man.
carpet,
$20 is $20, bro. Go get it.
kicking
You know what?
carpet,
You are not wrong about that statement.
and just ruining my back, picking shit up, trying to work harder than I needed to. It's all right though. I'm gonna get myself all cracked out tomorrow.
Yeah, there you
My
go.
back hurts, but that's from all our Halo.
Oh no, your back
carrying.
hurts. Ah.
Oh, here we go, Alex trying to.
Oh boy.
Trying to one up me.
I got a 1.4 KD ratio in Halo
Oh,
2,
God.
but only on one level.
But yeah,
So-
no, on a legitimate statement, Robbie, I feel your pain, bro. That herniated disc in my lower back, it's not fun to deal with.
You
so
literally
I
feel my
sympathize with
pain.
you, my guy.
Just back up a second. Hold on. There are 3 words that someone under 30 years old is not expected to say: sciatica, psoriasis, hernia.
Hey, man.
The three of us are all as old as Alex looks.
Oh shit!
We're not as
I'm
famous as
younger
he
than
looks,
you,
though.
Eric.
Oh.
Precisely my point.
Look like an
That's
old
the point.
Louis C.K. It's all right though.
It's all good. It's all good.
At least
We'll be
Louis
all right.
C.K. is kind of funny.
Oof.
He's funny. That's about it. Sorta,
You know what?
kinda, not really. He's all right.
This is all we can
but,
add to the resume.
yeah, I don't want to talk about him anymore. I don't like him.
Yeah, no,
I don't like him
We'll just-
anymore.
just
Yeah,
move it
swipe
along.
left. So we have a couple topics we want to talk about. First one being content creators and who we've been watching just in general, and who's keeping us entertained. Kyle?
All right, I'll go first. So the first one I'm going to talk about has been the one I have watched since my second year of high school now, and that's Mr. Creepypasta. Yep. So for y'all that don't know Mr. Creepypasta, he is a horror YouTuber and / writer. What I found, it really and truly what interests me about what he talks about is just the nonsensical fiction that could happen. I'm a big fan of horror movies, horror TV shows, anything like that. So the fact that these things can't happen are what really interests me. If that sounds weird, it does, but that's the best way I could describe it. Because I mean, what are the odds? A giant 30-foot long hell spider crawls out from the earth and destroys humanity.
Higher than you think, Kyle.
I was gonna say
True.
it might be low, but it's never zero.
Just because
Fair
you're paranoid
enough.
doesn't mean they're not out to get you.
Oh,
He's
jeez,
not
here we
wrong.
go.
He's not wrong.
Here we go. But anyways, the reason I kind of stuck with him for so long is because in high school, I don't actually know if you guys know this really about me. I used to write a lot. I used to do a lot of short stories and things like that.
Okay.
So listening to those podcasts and whatnot really helped me expand my vocabulary and helped me improve my writing style as I was writing into the horror genre a bit.
Awesome.
I want to see your horror writing there, Kyle.
I will send you some rough drafts I have laying around.
Please do. We'll do an
They
episode
are-
on Kyle's horror writing.
Nope.
Yeah.
No, we are
So-
not. That is too
so-
cringy.
So when you
probably.
say rough drafts, do you mean like a rough draft that isn't finished, or like a rough draft?
It's like all right, Larry the Cable Guy. I'm assuming it's
It's that.
it's something he wrote that he doesn't like anymore that he's calling a rough draft.
Not necessarily.
I
They are
mean,
actually unfinished writings that I don't have a final ending for. That
Is
is,
it just your slash fiction?
my what?
Your slash fiction.
My slash fiction. I'll be
Yeah.
real with you. I don't know what that is, but no.
Nobody.
I don't
I should learn to read the room.
speak
Whatever.
Spanish. I don't get it.
no
Someone
comment.
out there is laughing their ass off.
I hope so.
So aside from Mr. Creepypasta, another YouTuber that I have watched for a while, and one I think I talked about to Robbie a few times when we first met, was the YouTuber Nixium. I think when we first met, Robbie was like, "Oh yeah, you kind of look like this guy that I watch on YouTube." And
I remember that.
Yeah. Now the distinction is not there anymore. Anyways, so I got into Nixium because I'm a long-time World of Warcraft player, at least ex-World of Warcraft player. Played from pretty much, when it came out to the most recent expansion, not Shadowlands, but BFA. And the one thing I would like about him is that he still does World of Warcraft Machinima, which isn't much of a thing that's done anymore. It was done back in the day. If anyone, remembers, I can't remember. Wow, I can't remember any of them. But if anyone remembers like the WoW YouTube music videos and things like that, they were goofy. They were fun. They had some nice parodies on music that was popular during the early to mid 2000s. But they were nice until they died out. So that kind of gives me like a nostalgia trip, even though they're new content, or it's new content. Still, it's fun to watch. It's a little goofy and it gets a little wacky. But aside from Machinima, you know, he does a lot of outdoor recordings. He goes on biking trails. He does a lot of instrumentals with like Viking era drums and like Native American drone whistles and things like that. So I just kind of find that stuff interesting. It's
Yeah.
weird, it's different, and I'm like, all right, I can dig with this. Anybody else want to go? I'm running out of content here.
I remember my first World of Warcraft machinima.
Oh
Uh,
boy,
You'll probably remember this one. It's the
probably
beer
I've watched them
song.
all. The beer song.
What? It's the malted liquor. What gets you drunker quicker?
Oh
What-
god. Yeah,
Wow.
no, I'm pretty sure my first WoW machinima was I think it was the Illegal Danish, if I'm not mistaken. That whole series was just so ridiculous. I fell in love with it because of how stupid it was. Just a masterpiece.
You guys
so
are
anyone else
cringing
want-
over there, I see.
Yeah,
I,
they are.
I don't play WoW, dude.
Nope.
I know.
I gave it a couple of fair chances, but
Me
it
too.
just wasn't in
It's-
my wheelhouse.
it never stuck
for me.
I kinda
Everyone
fell
has
out of
their
it
thing.
pretty quick.
So who
Anyone
would
else
like
want
to
to talk
go
about their
next?
content creators?
Yeah, I'll go next. So on the topic of WoW, one of the two that I have, the content creators, he's a Twitch streamer. It's Mizkif. If any of you have
I
watched
knew
him,
it.
yeah, if any of you have watched him at all, you know that he started out streaming WoW, and he picked up a little bit of traction from that, and he got involved with Ice Poseidon actually. When I think either when he was on Twitch or when he was on YouTube, he was a cameraman for him at one point, I'm pretty sure, and that kind of like skyrocketed his fame and everything. But tuning into one of his streams every day is every day. I say that, but you know he's not live every day because you know no one can do that. It's a hard job to be a streamer. Like I can't even lie. I give people credit where credit is due, and I could never fucking stream full time like some of these people do 8-12 hours a day. You're just sitting there constantly entertaining people. I don't know if it's his ADHD that makes that funny, but I'll sit there and watch a 6-7 hour stream from him and I'm just laughing the whole time, having a great time, no matter what he's playing, whether he's just on YouTube looking at shitty live stream fail compilations, or he's, you know, talking to his roommates, or on, even if he's like looking at TikTok videos or just playing some stupid one-off game he has a sponsor for. I think his content is entertaining as fuck, and I can just sit there and watch it for hours. That's really all I have to say about him. The other one I have is Tumad. If you don't know who Tumad is, you're fucking Eric's laughing. You're fucking missing out, man. He is so fucking funny. You've probably seen his Goodnight Girl video that like went like super viral for a while.
I knew he was going to bring that up.
Oh, dude, of course. He did a series where he would go onto Zoom calls and like raid them in like class and stuff and just be as obnoxious as possible. And some of his humor seems kind of edgy, but I just think the way the editing is done for his content and the way that, you know, he goes about carrying this Tumad character he has and, you know, one-upping himself every stream, it seems, is just fucking hilarious. He's a genius, and he's making a shitload of money doing it. I don't have much to say other than that. I don't know if any of you three in here watched either Tumad or Mizkif.
You were actually the one that turned me on to Tumad.
Probably.
Like, because I
Been
had
that
only
girl.
vaguely heard of him before that, but it kind of just like opened that can of worms, and I was like, oh, I need more of this.
Yeah.
So yeah, 100%. It was a lot.
He's just
but
so
he's-
fucking funny.
He's
His humor is deep
outrageous.
fried.
he's outrageous, and yes,
Yeah.
his humor is very deep fried, but he's just like, he's not even out of the box. He's
No.
just like out of the whole package.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes him great, is just his like off the wall shit.
100%.
But-
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, speaking of favorite content creators, fun fact, I'm not one of them
True.
for any of you. And that's okay. I'm not
'cause we
actually my own
tolerate
favorite
you.
content creator, and that's okay. But so the person who actually inspired me to get into content creating is obviously one of my favorites, Stone Mountain 64. Um, he was the one who kind of like inspired me to get into content creating. He started off making YouTube videos back in 2011, and everyone has probably seen or heard his voice somewhere
Yep.
as the commanding officer, telling people to get in their bases and, running around and following orders and things like that, always using like a kind of walkie-talkie filter on his voice, so it sounds very like comms-esque. But the way that he just portrays himself and carries his energy so highly is kind of what got me to thinking, okay, I don't know if I'm ever going to be on that level, but that's what I want to strive to be, just to always be authentic and like ready to bring the action to the table. I guess the second favorite would be Random Frank P. If anybody watches his YouTube channel,
Wyndham Frankie.
Random Frank P. For those that don't know, Random Frank P is one of the, I guess, tech enthusiasts is a good way to classify him. He does a lot of keyboard reviews and like tech reviews and things like that, but he goes very in depth with his explanations, and he does a lot of comparisons as far as like, if this isn't your option, then maybe X, Y, or Z would be better suited for you. He has a very smooth way of explaining things, and I've always really enjoyed that about him. So I'd probably put him at my number 2. Both great guys, but Frank takes the cake for second place. Good
Hell
dude.
yeah. Yeah. I know he does this thing where, what are those cables called? Like those cables for making keyboard.
Yeah, the braided cables.
Braided cables, yeah.
Or paracords. Paracords.
Whatever he buys, the mechanical keyboard cables, he buys a green. He bought a green one, so he can chroma key it whatever color to match whatever he's doing. I think that's like next level shit. That is so fucking big brain. I never thought about doing something like that.
Exactly, and then that it's just one of those things that like nobody really thinks about. Like he was just like, oh, I'm gonna do this so that it makes all of this easier and better. Like, nobody thinks of stuff like that.
It's just a quality of life thing.
That is absolutely next level 5-head move. And
100%.
And it just makes everything so much better. But yeah, super good dude, super good content.
Yeah. Alex?
Oh yeah. So feel free to bash me on this one.
Okay.
Here, one of the people I want to talk to doesn't really start out as a content creator, but he did become one. Actually, James May. I don't know if any of you have seen Top Gear, but heard of James May, otherwise known as Captain Slow.
Yeah, I know that name. I know that name.
Yeah, you have to. James May is the nerdiest person I have ever seen in the world. The man will talk to you about the most boring stuff and make it interesting in such a weird way. Like one time, he and Gordon Ramsay had a cooking challenge on Gordon Ramsay's YouTube channel, and they were making fish pies. So James May, being an old British man with a mop for a head, he decides while he's opening a bottle of wine to explain the engineering benefits of a wine opener before even delving into it, and then proceeds to get absolutely trashed on bottles of wine while doing a cooking challenge with Gordon Ramsay. They were making a fish pie. At the end, he writes the word cock in peas on the top of the fish pie. And here's the kicker. Mind you, he's completely fucking trashed. He beat Gordon Ramsay.
Wow.
In the contest. Beat him. And this is a man who was an automotive journalist on Top Gear for a while, does the grand tour, and now he's on YouTube in a bunker for a channel called Food Tribe, where he just talks about the poverty sandwiches he ate growing up in the 70s as a child in England. Just making egg sandwiches and cheese sandwiches. And
today we are making bread with bread in the middle of bread, and we're calling it a bread sandwich.
And crust on the side.
Okay.
absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, you got the vibe of it right there, Eric. Right there. That's the
100%.
vibe. His shows are interesting too. Watch James May, Our Man in Japan, if you want something really interesting on Amazon Prime. It's great. And I don't know, how are we doing on time? I could talk more about somebody else.
We're at 20 minutes. If you want to talk more, yes. Our next topic is anime after that. You guys do this.
Ooh.
I have to go take care of something that just came up. I'm gonna keep recording. I'm sorry. It's very urgent. I'll be right back in like 10
we
minutes.
understand. Don't worry about it, Robbie.
Yeah, man, do it to it.
So
So now
I
that
think-
it's just the weebs.
Well, and then there were 3.
since we're
Here we
talking
go.
about anime,
Oh, there we go. Cowboy
Oh, boy.
Corgi. I mean, Corgi Bebop.
Oh,
Corgi
boy.
Bebop.
Yeah.
All right, so
Alright.
who wants to kick this section off?
Let's
Alex, take it
ask
away.
a question. We're just gonna do a lightning round
boy.
here of questions real quick.
Oh
So,
boy.
first anime you ever watched? Eric, go.
First,
Kyle,
are we talking about shows or like movies?
Either
or
or,
either
movie, show. Either or.
Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball. Kyle?
The first anime I ever watched was Bleach, and I fell in love fast.
Bleach was great. I think the first one I ever saw was actually Spirited Away. That was my first introduction to anime.
Okay, so that was your
Okay.
exposure.
Yeah. And that
look
was
at
a
us all now.
I know. Now we're godless heathens.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the one thing
Yeah.
I want to touch on real quick is a conversation we had the other day. Y'all were kind of, or well, at least, I don't know if Eric was, but at least Alex was kind of turning to me about how much I love Isekai. And
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
That was Alex.
we're
Because
going there.
so here's the thing. Like I said, I start off with Bleach, which, as anyone who's watched Bleach know, Ichigo has a huge life switch up and becoming, basically a Grim Reaper. And I think that's how I kind of fell into like Isekai, was seeing massive life change ups, and that's why I love that genre so much. Not saying that Bleach is an Isekai, because I really wouldn't consider it one. But I think that's how I fell into that genre so heavily. That's just me. That's all I want to touch on real fast. Alex or Eric, go ahead.
So if you want to touch up on that subject about
Oh, boy.
before, I'm about to
Oh,
make a lot
boy.
of enemies here, I think. I will
You're gonna-
die on this hill that
Oh, yeah, you're
ReZero
wrong.
is trash. I will do it. I will
can
do
confirm.
it.
Can confirm.
It's okay to, guys, like I said yesterday, it's okay to be wrong.
It is.
Yeah, we
It's okay to
agree.
be
It's okay
wrong.
for you to be wrong.
Yeah,
it's
it's
okay
okay
for you
that
guys to
you're
be wrong. I'm glad we
It's
all
okay
come
that
to the
you're
understanding that
wrong.
you guys are wrong. It's okay.
No. I think you're mishearing my communication. It's okay that you're wrong.
No. It's,
Yeah,
it's
Kyle.
fine. I hear you loud and clear.
That-
I'm right. You
that's
guys
the
are wrong.
communication.
It's,
It's a
it's all right
majority
to die on
vote.
that lonely hill. It's fine.
Oh
It's a
boy.
majority vote.
This is a pissing contest.
Yeah, drop in the comments below if ReZero changed your life like it changed mine.
You know, I gave it more chances than my most toxic ex, and I think that's saying something. But it's just bad.
Ooh.
It's just bad. I couldn't follow it. I couldn't stick with it. There was nothing in it that just, worked.
I mean,
There-
like I'll say about any other topic or any other subject, you have your opinions. I have my opinions. As long as we're still friends at the end of the day, that's all that matters. I don't
Oh
care.
yeah, 100%. But it's okay that you're wrong.
No, dude, I get it. It's okay. It's okay. Just
Yeah.
swallow that pride,
Yeah.
and you're fine.
Here. Let me derail this back and forth pissing contest here.
No.
I will go on.
You can't derail shit.
I'm gonna go on about an isekai that I actually do enjoy.
I'm
Yeah,
very
go
curious on
ahead.
which one it is.
You hear of one called Konosuba?
I do know of it. I actually haven't started watching it yet.
So Konosuba, I'm
Maybe
gonna
I
give you.
have.
I'm gonna give away like the first 5 minutes of the show.
Okay.
Unless you guys don't want spoilers.
Then skip 5 minutes ahead.
For it.
Short-term
No,
memory loss. Go
it's
for it.
still completely worth watching. So the first
Fair.
5 minutes of Konosuba, right? Starts as any standard isekai anime. The kid's a otaku, shut-in, neat, whatever you want to call him, and he ventures out to go get a video game release that just came out. So we can go back and be an otaku, shut-in, neat. And he sees a girl he goes to school with, and she's crossing the road, and he thinks she's about to get hit by a bus.
Oh wait, I have
So-
seen this one. I know exactly what you're talking about. I love this one too.
So Eric, since you don't know, you got to pay attention here. He thinks she's about to get hit by a bus, so he runs into the road and pushes her out of the way, saving her. And the next thing he knows, he wakes up, and there's like this goddess, pink or blue-haired goddess lady named Aqua, sitting there talking to him, explaining that you're dead. We're going to give you another chance in an isekai world. And he was like, oh, well, good. Did I save her? That's because that's what he cared about. And she was like, oh, no. She was never in danger. Turns out it was a tractor going about 5 miles down the road that he pushed her, or 5 miles per hour down the road that he pushed her out of the way from. And he thought he got run over and died of the shock of thinking he got run over. That's what killed him. And the goddess is just like fucking pissing her pants and everything, laughing at him. And that's the story of his life and how he goes to an isekai world and is completely average.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's honestly the intro, just to watch the beginning of this show is worth watching the show. Like,
Yeah.
given I haven't kept up with it, nor have I followed it, as far as it's gone. I don't even think I made it past like episode 4 or 5 because there's
2
other
seasons.
anime, and so I didn't even finish the first season. Overlord 2 was getting renewed for another season, and that's all I cared about because Overlord is love, Overlord is life.
Overlord is pretty good.
Overlord's really good. I mean, for an older one, it's not actually. I don't think Gate is an isekai, but Gate is an
Gate is
amazing
garbage.
show. Dude, what? Bro.
Gate had a fantastic
Bro.
concept, terrible execution.
Oh my god, dude!
Absolutely
Bro, if you don't like the
terrible.
military coming in to fight dragons, like you've lost me, bro. You have my two favorite worlds coming together.
It got so boring.
I mean, well, fair enough. I will say that much. It did get boring, but hey, they didn't get renewed, so.
They tried the political intrigue of Game of Thrones and couldn't pull it off.
Oh, let's never talk about Game of Thrones on this podcast. Okay, great.
That just no.
Yeah,
No.
no.
What?
No.
It had the
no.
best ending it could have. I mean, who has a better story?
Hey, wait, Eric, are you
yeah.
saying no to me or no to Alex? I'm confused.
No to Game of Thrones?
Oh, thank you. I agree.
Oh, I agree too. Yeah, we're all in agreement. There's no argument there.
Yeah.
That was trash.
It was good. It was.
Yeah, it was
then it
until they went off source material.
And then it fell hard.
They wanted their Star Wars contract.
Yeah, and then it just died off.
Yeah.
So,
Eric. Oh,
Bad. Me?
I mean, there's one show I'm looking forward to coming out at least. I don't know when because I've kind of lost sight of it in the last few months, due to like COVID and everything else going on. But they're actually working on a Lord of the Rings show. Everyone knows Kyle's a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I even have the map behind me. But I'm very skeptical because I don't know what material they're going off of, and it takes place prior to The Hobbit, so I'm very caught off guard here. I don't know whether I will like it or not.
I think it's one of those things that either it could be just good or it could be really bad really quickly.
Yeah, so
I
I'm actually
don't-
scared to watch it to tarnish,
That-
what I love.
That's the
Completely
perspective that I
agree.
have on it. I don't think it's going to be great. I don't think it's going to be fantastic. It's either going to be good or it's going to be horrible.
Yeah.
They- Not
Um,
saying that I have low expectations, but I have low expectations. So
as do I. Because as far as I
the
know from yes, go ahead, Eric.
oh, sorry, just filling Robbie in.
Oh, got you.
The Lord of the Rings show coming up.
Yeah.
I'll just
So
leave again.
yeah, I'm skeptical on it. If they, if they go with like the Silmarillion or anything like that, off Tolkien's original works and can work with that, it should be better than I'm hoping for. But if not, I'm terrified to even attempt watching it.
Right.
But besides that, we were talking about anime and we kind of got sidetracked.
Eric,
Anyone
what's
else?
an anime you like?
Like
we
a
can tear
recent one
apart.
or like a older one.
Whatever you want, because we're
So
gonna dump on it
I'm
regardless.
very basic when it comes to the anime category. The first show that I watched like religiously was actually Naruto. I didn't fall into DBZ until a little bit later. Now DBZ, Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball, that was my first exposure to anime. But my first like binge watching started with the original Naruto series.
Great show.
Exactly. And it just had a lot more filler episodes than it ever needed. And it was very oversaturated with character development, which I actually liked. So that's what kind of, got me into that. But the two things that I've been excited for are the Demon Slayer movie coming up, which I think is going to be phenomenal. And I've been following My Hero Academia lately. Again, very basic. I know a lot of people love it, but
It's
so
not
do
a bad show though.
I think it's
Huh.
great. I think
Never seen it.
I think that the idea behind the show was a really awesome idea, and the execution just matched perfectly.
Yeah, I
I
agree
at
with
least that's my perspective. For those that don't know what the show is about or anything, basically the main character is living in a time where kids are born with what they call quirks or superpowers. And a lot of the population has some kind of power, no matter how useful or useless it is. And the main character, Deku, as he's called, isn't born with any. And he looks up to like the number one hero in the world, and he's like, I'm gonna be a hero someday. And turns out he never gets his powers. And then one day he just does.
Huh.
And he becomes the most absolute badass of a come up story. And again, the execution, like I think it was in, for anyone else that's seen it, maybe you can confirm. I think it was within like the first 2 episodes or maybe 3 episodes that he actually gets his powers and kinda figures everything out. And the best part about it is that he doesn't know how to use them right away. It's not like, oh, I'm a Super Saiyan now, I can go Super Saiyan like that. No. That's not how it works. Like he gets his superpowers and has to learn how to use everything. And like the whole learning experience was like absolutely well done.
Mhm.
So it's not One Punch Man.
Yeah, no.
Exactly my point.
It easily
Exactly
could have
my point,
gone that
which-
direction, and as I started watching, I was like, "Oh, it's gonna go in this direction. Fantastic." But no, the way it's they hit you with that little twist, and
Mhm.
I love it. I just love
Yeah.
it because dude, he
Absolutely
has
well
one of
done.
the biggest cons thrown against him. And not gonna spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen the show, but it's just like it's great just to watch him, learn how to use his powers in a very strategic manner, and use them when he really needs to.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah. Definitely.
Speaking of superpowers, have you guys watched The Boys? Are you all caught up on that?
Oh, speaking of which, season
haven't
2
started it
is
yet.
finally done. I can finally watch season 2.
Season 2's been done, my dude. You're behind.
Yeah, a couple weeks. I was waiting
Delayed.
for it to
You're
finish.
delayed.
All right,
I was
so
watching The Expanse.
looks like we just got to talk about it another time so we don't spoil it for you.
Well, I mean, as far as I know nothing about the show because I've never seen it. If you guys want to give me a brief
Kyle.
rundown,
Superpowers.
what is it about?
Anti-hero
Robbie, can I get-
superheroes.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's the only way I can
Anti-hero
describe it to people.
superheroes.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're-
so okay.
It's what the superheroes do when they're not in the limelight.
Mm-hmm. Like an X-rated Justice League.
Huh.
but
That's
like
more or less
the
a good
Snyder cut
description.
version,
Yeah,
which I cannot fucking wait for that to come out.
I
mean,
don't know, man.
for anybody that doesn't
don't
know, I like DC. That's all I have to say. If you're listening to
So you
it, I
like
have a
being
Batman
wrong.
tattoo on my arm. You're wrong. I have a Batman
Hey,
tattoo on my
hey.
inner arm.
Shut up.
I know someone else here who has a DC tattoo. I won't spoil it though, just so we can keep it hidden.
Spoiler alert, it's not me. I don't have any.
You could be lying. I don't know. What was your last task?
You don't know about my tramp stamp.
Whoa,
Maybe I wanna know.
whoa. Okay. Indulge.
All right,
Perfect.
you had my attention, and now you have my interest.
Well, maybe if you're good enough, you'll find out.
Oh
Possibly.
boy.
This is just getting weird.
Like, yeah, I was about to say, this is getting weirder than I expected
Real
it to.
fucking
That's-
weird.
I think that's the point.
Okay, I'm kind of for
Why
it.
I'm here.
Yeah, fair enough. Breaks that awkward tension. You know, those first day jitters.
Yep.
Um, anything else you guys want to
Pretty
talk
much.
about, or we'll call it?
You haven't.
I think we're good to call it, but it's up to you.
You haven't talked about anime, have you, Robbie?
No, I didn't actually. I was away for that.
Well, here's your chance.
I like Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon and Cory in the House. Those are my favorite animes.
Cory in the House is best anime.
Yep.
Cory is best waifu.
Yep.
That's
hands down.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
yeah. Cory in the house.
Ooh.
You know the freaking Oh my god, the VR chat. Cory
Oh,
in
the
house is gonna
VR
be the
chat where you're the
thumbnail for this.
actual house.
That's gonna be the thumbnail.
Dude, we gotta hop on VR chat. I
Uh,
can play it
it's
in VR now.
I mean, can we?
Uh,
I think we can make that happen.
We could. We 100% can.
We
But I
100%
mean,
can.
it's kind of obvious that I like Dragon Ball Z. If you even watch the podcast, you can see the Dragon Balls on my arm. Like, so when someone
I'm sure
asks,
those weren't the first
what a
balls
mystery.
on your arm.
nope. When someone asks, "Do you like anime?" I'm just like, no, not really. It's kind of stupid.
Alex, I caught that.
Well, I like to read
We
the
all did.
mangoes first. All right.
Mm.
So yeah,
yeah,
Well,
good job,
no.
sir.
On that bombshell.
Leftovers at Midnight, episode 2.
Peace.
Meh.